hireable drivers, police improvements, and special customers. 3 options, 1 vote. And the Schedule 1 community is going absolutely insane, debating which one deserves to win. Now, if you've already voted, that's fine. Stick around anyway, because I think what I'm about to cover might surprise you. And if you haven't voted yet, that's perfect, because you've still got time. And this video is going to make sure you know what you're potentially voting for before you do. Because here's the thing, Tyler gave us almost nothing in the official announcement. 1 sentence per option. So I went digging into past dev streams, Q&As, community posts, and anything Tyler has ever said about these updates. And what I found paints a much bigger picture of what could be potentially coming with each of these options. Quick reminder that everything I'll be covering today around the deeper details of each update comes from the streams and Q&As where Tyler has talked about what he wants to potentially add. This is not a confirmed feature list, and the final update will likely look a little different from what we discussed. But it's also the clearest picture we've got right now as to what could be potentially added with each option. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First up, we've got hireable drivers. Tyler's description was pretty straightforward. Driver employees who transport items between your properties, businesses, and dealers. You set up routes, you set your conditions, and they handle the moving automatically, so you can stop being your own delivery driver and focus on growing your empire. On paper, that sounds incredible. Anyone who's played this game past the early stages knows the pain of manually running product across the whole map, while trying to keep 3 different builds going at once. It's a lot, and drivers would fix that completely. But here's where it gets way more interesting than that 1 sentence suggests. In dev streams, Tyler has talked about things he wants to potentially add alongside drivers. One idea he floated was the ability for drivers to take money directly to your businesses for laundering. He even mentioned the possibility of a checkbox to set them to automatically launder as soon as they arrive. So we could be looking at way more than just product logistics. The financial side of your operation would be running itself too. In the same stream, Tyler also talked about a flatbed truck that he actually built during early development. He mentioned wanting to add it and said that the driver update would be a natural time to do it. A bigger vehicle that handles bigger loads for your big operations. If you hate moving product across the map, vote drivers. Option 2 on the ballot is police improvements. And 3 days in, this one is generating the most noise by a significant margin. And it's not hard to see why. The cops in game right now are not a threat. You can be running the biggest meth den in Highland Point, and the police response is 2 guys you can jog up a parking lot to escape. Curfews are just a way to make more money, and there are no real stakes to getting caught. And for a game that's fundamentally about selling drugs without getting caught, that's a real problem. So what could be coming if this wins? Tyler has talked pretty openly about his vision. On stream, he described wanting to build a full escalation system, where you'd start off with just the normal local cops sniffing around. But as you start to make bigger moves, they could potentially bring in the DEA, or what Tyler described as a fictional equivalent. Keep pushing and a police helicopter might start showing up. He's also mentioned wanting to add bribery and dirty cops as a way to interact with law enforcement, beyond just running away. But it goes even deeper than that. In a Q&A, someone asked Tyler directly about the idea of a DEA-style raid team that busts into your properties based on a heat system and seizes employees and equipment. Tyler's response was that property raids are something that he wants to include in the police expansion. So we could be talking about law enforcement coming into your properties, taking your gear, and arresting your employees. That is a completely different level of consequence than anything in the game currently. Tyler took it even further when talking about the secrecy side of things. He floated the idea of players needing to actively maintain their security at properties, using cameras, guards, and property disguises. The concept being that keeping your operations hidden from the inside becomes just as important as avoiding heat on the streets. Again, I want to be really clear that none of this is actually confirmed, but even just half of that vision making it into the game is enough to make this one of the most compelling options on the vote. If you think Schedule 1 needs more danger, more consequences, and more reasons to think twice, vote police improvements. And last but not least, we've got special customers. Tyler's description is that special customer groups like bikers, hippies, and businessmen would all periodically roll into town and buy large quantities of product. Not your regular street level sales. These are bulk buyers who show up, want a lot, pay, and leave. Now on the surface, that sounds like a fun little side feature, but think about how it could actually change how you play the game. Right now, in late game, there's almost no reason to diversify your operation. You find the most efficient product, you optimize 1 or 2 setups, and you just repeat it on loop forever. The game stops pulling you forward. There's nothing to prepare for, nothing unexpected coming, and nothing that forces you to think or adapt. You're just maintaining what you already built. Special customers could completely break that cycle. Think about the preferences each group might like. Hippies are probably going for weed and shrooms, bikers are likely looking for meth, and businessmen are almost certainly about the coke. There's even community speculation that bikers might want to buy or even sell you weapons at some point, which would open up a whole new side of the business. With special customers, you wouldn't be able to run just one operation anymore. You need multiple properties producing different products, because you never know what group is coming into town next. You need to stay stocked across the board, and need to be ready for anything. The whole empire building side of the game suddenly has a purpose again, because there's unpredictable demand driving your decisions, instead of just producing into the same predictable void every session. If you're a late game player who feels like there's nothing pushing you forward once your operation is established, consider voting special customers. However, my vote is with police improvements. Everything that I've dug up about what Tyler wants to potentially build here has pushed me firmly into that direction. Property raids, security systems, escalating heat. Before this game gets more convenient or adds more ways to make money, it needs to make the risk side of things feel actually risky. That change alone would bring a lot of the people back into this game who've drifted away. But that's the full breakdown of all 3 community vote options. Drop a comment on what your vote is, leave a like, and subscribe. Until next time, my fungal friends.